Greetings, wandering travelers. We're back playing some Divinity Original Sin 2. The plan is to finish exploring Mortis's house, then head into this region just west of Driftwood. Okay, who is closest to it? That would be Sybil. In a lot of ways, I think this is a pretty nice house. Okay.
The dwarf is unnaturally still. You might mistake her for a corpse, were it not for a slight twitch of her eyelids.
Poker.
She calmly opens her left eye, then her right.
What do you want?
Inform her of your visit with Lohar. You need to get through the hatch.
The dwarf unfolds her arms and shoots to her feet.
All right, elf. Right glad Lohar ain't left us here to wither. Those brutes are taking their sweet time down there. I gotta send word soon.
Ask what her partners hope to find below.
Who knows? Anything that gives away what Mortis has been up to. Probably got all sorts of tricks for covering his tracks, but the goons downstairs should sniff out something.
Ask more about Mortis.
That weird priest's been hanging around Lohar for ages. Now he's vanished. Poof. Those half-wits below will know more.
Thank her for the information. You're heading down now.
Get to it then. But tell the lunkheads that Glenna sent you before they bash your brains in.
That's good to know. Interesting.
We'd have more luck asking Duna to open it for us than for it to push by her own.
I found something.
Ah, there we are.
Maybe if we had a crowbar.
There we go. Doors opening.
Why, Duna's dagger elf. You here to free us or kill us?
Tell them you're here with Glenna's blessing.
The male dwarf expels 2 lungfuls of air and glances happily at his companion.
We've only been fretting here for a few hours, but it's felt like days. That snot-nosed priest's as slippery as a snake in an oil drum.
Ain't found nothing that lets on what Mortis is up to. Only thing we managed were to close that door and get us stuck. And if there's another door out there, never could find it.
Lohar ain't gonna be pleased.
This Mortis, what's he up to? Where has he gone?
Ain't no telling where that priest has gone to. Started acting all funny not so long ago, then flew the coop.
Acting funny? Ask what she means.
Well, at first, he was just buddying around with Lohar and the rest, you know. But then he'd start looking all sickly and run off for a day or two. Then some stranger tried taking old Lohar down, but got himself caught and tied up. Ain't no coincidence Mortis went hanging around then.
She taps a finger against her forehead.
A woman knows things. Nothing's getting past me.
Send them away in peace.
Best we head off then. We've got business to attend to.
Okay. sheets of paper. Ooh, read. Arrow Surge and Necromancer. That'll be good on Ben Mez. Empty potion bottles. Pile of bones. That's never ominous. A copy of Summoner's Lament. But what is this book? Into the Deep. My Adventures in the Mines of Karaxkar by Rubinev. By Mr. Longbeard. The author says he traveled the famous mines and claims to have met many dangerous creatures of the deep. Strangely enough, he doesn't seem to mention a single creature that you have heard of. The editor's note at the end describes the book as Dwarven social satire. The funny thing about this situation is the whole fact that chest right there is a bait for a trap.
Careful now, that's a trap.
Is there any way around it? Nope. Who's closest? I think that'll be Ben Mez. Oh, speaking of Ben Mez.
Hear ye! Hear ye! Bishop Alexander was slain by Satan! Come on, you think.
Nice dagger. Sell that
Well,
on later.
this won't do. If I can get stuck, then I can get unstuck.
The shrine depicts Duna, yet has clearly seen better days. Scratches and fissures deface its exterior, and its eyes have been gouged hollow.
Reach your hand out to touch the shrine.
The stone is cold against your palm. If this figure once held power, it has since been depleted.
Interesting. Leave that be.
I've spotted something. That's not a skull. It's missing an eye. As far as locks go, this one's pretty macabre.
Yeah, no way to get through this door without the key. And we cannot bash the door down. Okay. That's good to know. Let's send Beast back into Driftwood. So we can complete the business with the Maester. At least for now.
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Ow.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
Ow.
I swear by the seven if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians, no offence to you, my well-odoured friend, were unable to club their way into my vault. Everything you need should be safe.
Ask what exactly it is that you need.
In your case, more than I suspect, man, God or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul.
Your deepest self. Wonder which version of you that will be. This ought to be fun.
Quite.
Cautiously ask what happens next.
We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with push the button.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you.
Enter the safe combination as the Maester calls it out.
Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand.
Ancient runes. Weird contraptions. This place is an arcanist's dream.
But more importantly, a way to refill source.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, God-woken?
Tell her you're not sure. You don't believe in one person having too much power. But if that person were a champion of the people...
Exactly. But it isn't enough to say the people. That could mean anything. The dwarfs, the lizards, the humans. No. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else.
Nod, you understand.
Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard, sauce in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Observe that her cuts look pretty bad.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Pause for a moment. Ask if she's ever seen the ritual performed before.
Once, although not by a Godwoken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death.
Nod, it's a risk you have to take.
And putting our faith in you is a risk Rivellon must take. If you need more detailed information about the ritual, see the tome on a plinth by the bookcase. But be quick about it. We do not have much time.
Okay. Crafting. You'll need
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order.
look for the materials you would need to complete the ritual.
After a quick rummage, you spot the blackroot nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the blackroot, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed.
Okay, use the knife. Note to self. I'll dispose of all the excess material.
As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading.
Hold the fumes in your lungs and ignore the thumping in your head.
As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This is the deepest recess of my soul, but it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
Beast, come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am.
Step closer.
Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes, shine brightly. Speak the spell, and see.
strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Duna in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Duna nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah yes, just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god.
Tell him not to be so greedy. Quite frankly, you have need of all the source you can get.
Don't you dare to be ungrateful after all I've done for you. I sheltered you. Now you must shelter me. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion.
Surmise that by hiding himself in your soul, he's turned you into a target for every void-woken in the world.
Well, sort of. But by all means, let that be a motivator, not a cause for concern. You must realize, Beast, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, we stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension.
The Well of Ascension. Say you once heard of it. An old storyteller speak of it as the birthplace of gods.
It most certainly will be. The Well of Ascension is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs.
Wait, hold on. The gods once gave away half of their powers, just like that?
It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism, and a dreadful mistake to boot, which the Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom. This world's liberator.
So, he's implying you must steal the powers of the other gods. That makes you feel rather uncomfortable.
Whatever for. The other gods will either bow to you or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own God-woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, Beast. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods. Their blood on your eager hands. But don't let that dismay you, for these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin and your loved ones, and the world they live in.
Ask about the other races. What of them?
They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs. Wouldn't you agree? So, fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you're ready, when you've become a true master of the Source, and speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a God-woken can, and wield its most powerful spells.
Smile wryly and say that pilgrimage sounds rather ironic given your mission.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
Perhaps. But what is a pilgrimage after all, if not a journey of atonement in search of enlightenment? Focus not on death and irony, beast. On life and ascension instead. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Best of luck, beast.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
Wave away her questions and cough off that searing green smoke out of your system.
She stares intently for a moment, taking in every detail before sighing deeply.
You didn't have enough Source, did you? You had all the materials, but not the Source. That is unfortunate.
Growl that you are not comfortable with a problem you can't club into submission either.
And I fear I am just as much use. I was a master of Source once, but no longer. The Magister's purging staves saw to that. The river of my Source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only Source Masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to.
Rest your hand on your weapon. Your belt. You'd be better killing such creatures, not begging them for help.
Were the circumstances any different, I would indeed agree. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them.
You can't hide the concern on your face. She doesn't seem well.
And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your Source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters.
Is she sure this is the only way?
Alas, I am. And we do not have time to nitpick morals. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was there guest for a time. And I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Wish her well and take your leave. Okay. Losa, got an infiltration job for her. And all she needs to do is be her charming self.
The Magister turns to you with a scowl. He already seemed immensely displeased, and your interjection isn't improving his mood.
What?
Claim that you sense a great unhappiness and restlessness in his spirit. There's somewhere he'd be more appreciated. You should go there.
Who asked you? You're not even supposed to be down here.
Say that this place seems secure enough. He won't be missed.
The Magister glances around the cells, before ripping the keys from his belt and casting them aside.
This isn't the Divine Order I signed up for. Not anymore. I'm done.
Now we just wait a moment. That was some Bene Gesserit at levels of persuasion right there.
Lucky find.
Sorcerer's Ring.
Lucky find.
What does that do? Oh, some fire slug. A little bit extra flexibility right there. Ledger, most wanted sorcerers. Sorcerers, most wanted. Mortis, dwarf, suspected links to local dwarven malefactors. Last seen Driftwood vicinity, no one associate of Lohar. Searched the area beneath a Black Bowl Tavern. Riker, elf, known lone wolf affiliate. Not to be challenged by our forces by order of the White Magisters. Last seen Stone Garden Cemetery. Hanag, lizard, beware of powerful portal magic. Last seen being hosted by a large family in Black Pits. Alamira, human, black ring, last seen captured and taken by the White Magisters. Sahela, elf, blind mystic, last seen captured and sent to Fort Joy. Ifem Bemez, we know all about him. At Dum, there remains suspicion of sorcerer activity on the northern end of Blood Moon Island. The island itself is currently inaccessible to our forces. Well, there we go. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. I have been Cypher, and have a good day.